As I'm sure you're aware, the third season of Young Justice has officially been put into production, so to celebrate, I've put together a list of 10 characters that need to be in Young Justice Season 3. Number 10, a Green Lantern protege. A Green Lantern protege would be great for the team. It doesn't really matter which one of the Lanterns it is, though most likely it would have to be a young Kyle Rayner, as he has not been shown on the Justice League yet, whereas the other Lanterns have. I would just like to see a Green Lantern on the Young Justice team, as that would allow the show to explore the different Lantern Corps, the Sinestro Corps, the Red Lantern Corps, and the others. With aliens having been the main plot of Season 2, the time is right to open up the Earth to the rest of the universe, and it would be really interesting to see a young Lantern, as it would allow us to see exactly how the rings work and the difficulties that come with it.
Ring chose you to be a Green Lantern. Were there many tests of your strength and bravery?
No, I was nearby when the Green Lantern in my sector died and his ring came to me.
And it could lead to new plot arcs involving the other corps, such as the Sinestro Corps War, which would be just fantastic to see animated. There is also the factor that Green Lantern is the only core member of the Justice League who doesn't have a protege on the team. And by core members I mean Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Superman, The Flash, and Martian Manhunter. And although there are other members of the League, these are the core members who are present in nearly every version of the Justice League, across the comics, the movies, the video games, and the TV shows. And they all have a sidekick or someone they've mentored on the team, and it would just be good for Green Lantern to have his own representation on the team as well. Number 9, Booster Gold. Booster Gold is one of my favourite characters. He's an egotistical idiot with no class or taste.
Citizens of Metropolis, behold, Booster Gold! Traveling back through time from the year 2462 AD, Booster Gold has come to battle today's wrongdoers. Booster Gold, protecting his past to ensure your future.
Who grows and matures into a great hero who is responsible for protecting not just the Earth, but the entire multiverse, and making sure that people don't interfere with time and fixing time anomalies.
Tracy, I'm a fraud. You know why I came back to the past? It wasn't a fight for justice, it was to get rich, be famous. I was a failure in the future, just like I am here. I'm not a superhero.
Everything is about to be destroyed forever. And where are the other superheroes? Not here. You are. You're the only one who can do this. So do it.
And it's just a great story to watch unfold, as a character like this just does and says things that other characters would never say.
That is the attitude that keeps you on the sidelines.
You're right, it's not just about fame. What you pulled down last year, before taxes.
And he's also the father of the character Rip Hunter, who most of you will probably know from the show Legends of Tomorrow. He was also a great friend of the Blue Beetle Ted Kord version, so whether they'll stick to this in the Young Justice universe is unknown. He may not have actually known Ted Kord, but it could lead to him being great friends with the current Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes. He's a comical and entertaining character who would just bring so much to the show, because although the show is great because of its serious tone and its sophistication, a little comical relief is always needed to balance this, and Booster Gold could provide that wonderfully.
Can I have your autograph?
Of course you can.
I thought you were Green Lantern.
Number 8, the New Gods. The main villain of Season 3 has clearly been made out to be Darkseid, an ally of the light from early in Season 1, a plot arc that we've seen across 2 seasons, and hopefully it will finally come to fruition in the 3rd season, and we'll get to see what the light's overall plan was, and of course see the heroes thwart it.
Darkseid.
Immortal, all-powerful, unstoppable, for all intents and purposes, a god.
But if we're having Darkseid feature in the show, then we need to see the New Gods feature as well. For those who don't know, Darkseid rules the planet Apokolips, and he's basically as strong or stronger than Superman.
You dare strike me!
And is the undisputed vicious dictator of the planet. The planet is a dark and evil place full of monsters, and the planet's polar opposite and immortal enemy is New Genesis, a planet filled with beings with superpowers of all varieties, and the population are seemingly immortal. But whereas Apokolips is a dark, evil place, New Genesis is a light, wonderful place, and they've been at war for centuries. So if we're going to feature Darkseid, we must see the New Gods as well. Now, some of the New Gods have already featured in the show.
Forever, people?
We're young gods. New gods.
Right.
They call me Seraphim.
I'm Dreamer, this is Moonrider, and our leader Viking.
But there are dozens more on the planet New Genesis that have not even been featured or even mentioned, such as Mr. Miracle and Orion, the son of Darkseid, who fights against his evil father. And if Earth is going to war with Darkseid, then the New Gods just have to have representation, because there's some fantastic characters, and I would love to see the new designs they would draw for them, because one of the best things about Young Justice is the way that they've made new designs for all the characters. Sometimes it hasn't worked, but for the most part they've all been pretty awesome, so I'd like to see what they could do with the new God costume designs. Number 7. Gorilla Grodd. Now, Gorilla Grodd has featured a few times in the Young Justice tie-in comics, and we learn that he was created by the Brain and that he has powerful psychic abilities, and seems to be power-hungry and evil with a god complex, making him a perfect enemy for the team to fight. Admittedly, his main goal in several versions was to turn everyone on Earth into a gorilla.
Oh, come on!
Which is more goofy than evil, to be honest.
I wasn't going to do this for another few weeks, but seriously, turning all of humanity into apes? That was your master plan?
But even still, he is a genius-level enemy with no morality, and this means that he is always entertaining, regardless of what his main objective is. Number 6. The Marvel Family. Captain Marvel is of course a member of the Justice League already, and already on the show.
Suspect Icon might be Kryptonian like you did with Captain Marvel?
You thought I was Kryptonian? Cool.
Though on a side note, I'm not sure if he'll still be named Captain Marvel when the show returns, as the character has been renamed Shazam in the comics and movies.
Hey there, what's up? Shazam.
Following a lawsuit from Marvel to get the legal rights to the name Captain Marvel, so that Marvel could use it for their Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers.
Hi there, Carol Danvers here. Well, at least I was, until I got caught in an exploding psyche magnetron machine. I came out of the blast with an extra lobe in my brain and some pretty awesome superpowers. Going by the name Captain Marvel and wearing a cool costume, I battle evil.
Now, I don't know the full legalities of the situation, but it's very possible that Captain Marvel will be renamed Shazam in the 3rd season. But for the rest of this video, I'll be referring to him as Captain Marvel. The Marvel family consists of 3 people, obviously Captain Marvel, whose real name is Billy Batson, but the ones I want added to the show are his sister Mary, who is Mary Marvel, and brother Captain Marvel Jr., who would be great additions to the show.
Looks like it's time for the magic words, and I don't mean please or thank you.
Captain Marvel!
Though again, I'm not quite sure if they'll be able to call him Captain Marvel Jr., or perhaps it'll become Shazam Jr., or they'll just come up with new names entirely. But having one or both Marvel family members on the Young Justice team would be great, as Captain Marvel is a great character, and has, again, just like Green Lantern, no real representative or sidekick on the Young Justice team. Plus, they both have magic-orientated powers that make them nearly, if not on the same level, as Superman, and the team could always use some more heavy hitters for the fighting.
Come and get some, ugly! Shazam!
And of course, the characters Mary Marvel and Captain Marvel Jr. are a lot like Captain Marvel himself, so they'd be very entertaining to see as members of the team. Number 5. ReverseFlash. The ReverseFlash is an absolutely fantastic character, and I love him because he's a scientist who looks deeply into his powers to find out every possible use for them and improve them, which is why he constantly beats the Flash in power levels, as he is constantly trying to improve himself and his abilities.
My speed was always a match for yours, and now it's augmented by 2 more Flashes.
He is also an infamous time traveller, as shown in the Flash TV series and Legends of Tomorrow.
Who are you? No, we've met before. I've heard it a number of times, actually. In fact, after our last go, you discovered my plan, and then traveled through time yourself to stop the Legends from coming here.
And though time travel stories have been done a lot in media lately, I'd still like to see another time travel story in Young Justice, and a possible Flashpoint event. Though this time it would be great if, instead of someone coming from the future, like Impulse did, if members of the team could go to the future, possibly even meeting the Legion of Superheroes. For those who don't know, the Legion of Superheroes are basically the Justice League of the future, except instead of just protecting Earth, they protect the entire universe. And ReverseFlash would just add fantastic plot points. He could even become a member of the Light, and it would be extremely entertaining to watch. Number 4. Supergirl. Now, with Supergirl having her own TV show now, the character is more popular than ever, meaning she could very easily make an appearance. And I, for one, would love to see her arrive on this planet and have no clue how to use her powers. I always enjoy watching the training of a hero, and whenever I read a book trilogy, the novel where they learn to master their abilities and hone their skills is always my favourite one, so I would enjoy watching her learn to control her powers and the limits that she has. It could also lead to us learning more about Krypton and its culture, which is a subject that is never really explored that much. In some comics it has been, but in other media they kind of just gloss over the details of the alien planet, which seems odd because if I found out that aliens existed, I'd want to know everything about it. And if I was Superman and I'd come from that planet, I'd want to know even more. Now, admittedly, this has changed with Supergirl having her own show, as they have mentioned more about Krypton's legacy.
Is this their legacy? Death and destruction across the universe?
Your parents' legacy is not death and destruction, Cars-Rail. It's you.
And I'm sure we'll learn more about Krypton as the show goes on. But in animation, there isn't really any details given in all the movies and TV series. And of course, different things could be done in animation that couldn't be done in the live action. It would also create an interesting love triangle between Superboy and Miss Martian, as Miss Martian could get envious of how much they have in common. I'm assuming that Superboy and her would be very close, as he would be teaching her to master her abilities and powers, so that could be very entertaining to watch. Young Justice also seems to have more female superhero members than most TV shows or movies do.
Oh, really? And would you have felt the need to justify an all-male squad for a given mission?
There's no right answer for that, is there? So, Nightwing out.
Queen Bee isn't the only woman who can mess with a man's mind.
So adding her seems like something the writers would definitely do, especially considering her popularity in the new TV show. Number 3, Damian Wayne. Now, these days everyone knows who Damian Wayne is, because pretty much every DC animated movie made is all about Damian Wayne. I mean, hell, the Justice League vs Teen Titans movie was basically just the Damian Wayne show, and him making an appearance on the show is very likely. And although this character has been very overused, to be completely honest, if Young Justice takes a different approach to the character, it could be very good. Admittedly, it would be a little difficult to have Damian Wayne on the show, as his parents, Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, have not been lovers in the show as far as we know. In fact, Talia al Ghul actually had another lover who ended up turning into Clayface. This all happened about the time of season 1, just before the episode where Clayface arrived. However, one key element of this show is cloning. They've used cloning a great deal with Superboy and the Xenomorphs, so it's very possible that Damian Wayne might not be a normal child, but could be a clone of Batman made to serve the light.
Clone them. The substitutes will serve the light, and only the light.
But who turns against them and becomes the new Robin, which could be a great story to watch unfold, and I really hope it does happen that way, as we can see him on their side as this strong warrior, and then being turned over to the light side.
You dare disobey me? Have you forgotten your heritage? You are an Al Ghul!
No, I'm a Titan!
It would also mirror the story of Superboy and Superman, in which Batman said that Superman needed to be a father to Superboy and help guide him. So it would be interesting to see if he can take his own advice when faced with the same situation. It's also very likely that we're going to have another time skip like we did with the 5-year gap between Season 1 and Season 2. So this would allow for the Tim Drake Robin to have moved on and become Red Robin, which is the superhero that Tim Drake becomes later in life, and free up the mantle of Robin for Damian Wayne to take it.
I'm my father's son, too. I'm Robin.
Number 2, Teen Titans. Now, technically speaking, this is 5 characters, though obviously Robin and Beast Boy are already on the show, which just leaves Cyborg, Raven and Starfire left to appear. Now, Cyborg is a very popular character at the moment, having been made a member of the Justice League in the comics and the animated movies and the upcoming live action movie, so him appearing on the show seems to be a given.
Alright, I'm only gonna say this once. Booyah!
Plus, as I have said before in my other videos, one of the main reasons Young Justice was cancelled was because it didn't sell enough toys, and Cyborg is of course perfect for an action figure, so him being on the show may actually boost sales of the toys and hopefully keep the show on the air for longer. As for Raven, it would be fantastic to see more magic users on the team, as there aren't any magic users that are currently on the Young Justice team, now that Zatanna is on the Justice League, and since the Light has Clarion, the team could really use its own magic user as well to help defend against that.
Come on, we can take him.
Yes, but in the process you'd lose control.
I wouldn't lose control. Okay, yeah, I bring the chaos.
She also might be able to help with freeing Zatanna's father from Dr. Fate. Starfire is of course an alien, and the plot of Season 3 so far appears to be alien-based, so her appearing on the show would work perfectly with that story arc. Plus, it'll be interesting to see the love dynamic between her and Nightwing, because although they are lovers in the comics, there is also this kind of thing that Nightwing and Batgirl are having that is shown in the tie-in comics to Young Justice. And since relationships are a core theme of the show, this love triangle would be perfect to watch, and it could be very entertaining to see which one Nightwing chooses in the end. Now, it is possible that studios won't want the same characters appearing in Teen Titans Go and Young Justice, as they'll both be on the air at the same time, bearing in mind that Young Justice was cancelled before Teen Titans Go was on the air, so there wasn't really an issue of characters being on the same show. But since Robin and Beast Boy are already main characters, and of course there's the fact that they're in different universes, it does seem likely that they would allow the Teen Titan characters to be on both shows. So hopefully we'll get all of the Teen Titans on the show, and we'll get a more serious version of them like the old classic show, instead of the goofy ones from Teen Titans Go, which I know is quite popular and it can be fun to watch, but personally I would love to see them more serious and sophisticated. I just find that more entertaining. Number 1. The Red Hood. Now, I have said in my other videos that I want the Red Hood to come back as a story plotline in the 3rd season. For those who don't know, the Red Hood is Jason Todd, and basically after Dick Grayson grew up and became Nightwing, Jason Todd is the guy who took over the mantle of Robin, becoming the second Robin and sidekick to Batman.
Check me out! I'm Robin, the boy wonder! Are you kidding me? This rocks! Come on, old man, we've got bad guys who need chasing.
Unfortunately, while on a mission, he was killed by the Joker, and then brought back to life by Ra's al Ghul using the Lazarus Pit, and he became the Red Hood to get revenge on the Joker for killing him. Now, that is the definition of determination, which even the Joker admits.
Gotta give the boy points. He came all the way back from the dead to make this shindig happen.
Now, I don't care what you say, coming back from the dead to get revenge on the guy who killed you is pretty badass. And I would love to see him appear on the show. And I believe that this will almost certainly happen. I think they've actually been setting this up ever since Season 2. After all, in one episode, Jason Todd's hologram is shown, and these holograms are of the members of the team who have died. So since we saw Jason Todd's hologram, but have never actually seen Jason Todd in any form in the comics or show, it seems like they've been setting it up for him to return as the Red Hood. Otherwise, why feature him in the show at all? After all, we know all the other dead characters that are featured in these holograms in the team's grotto, and we know how they died. The only one left to explore is Jason Todd. So I believe that this is going to happen, and personally I cannot wait to watch the episode that he returns in. And that is the 10 characters that need to feature in Season 3 of Young Justice. Do you agree with this list, or do you think that some of them shouldn't be in Season 3? Be sure to let us know in the comments, along with any other characters that you want to feature in Season 3. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.